Alright guys, welcome back. We are working on the Recon today. We're going to get the wheels done. We've got a couple other things at the house that we've got to get done. So we're almost done with that project. We get this thing out, get it riding again as well. Right now it's just sitting on jack stands in my garage. But got to get the wheels cleaned, got to get them prepped. That way we can get a good coat of paint on them. Not going to do a carbon copy of the Bayou wheels in a different color. So that's boring. So I got to think about something. But step one, get them clean, get them taped up, get the back sides painted black, so we can start on the face of the wheel. So I've got them sitting right here behind me, and that is Bubba. Let me stop talking. Let's get to work. Alright, while we're waiting for that first coat to dry, we'll walk over, see what Mr. Matt's up to. If you remember, this is Matt from Hustleworks. He's working on his Jeep today. It's a 2003 Wrangler. Lifted, 35s. What are you doing today, Matt?
Track bar install.
Track bar.
Be a little wobbly.
Uh-oh. Yeah, check this thing out. I wouldn't mind having it. It's like a grown-up four-wheeler. Making progress?
Working on my B-roll here.
Your B-roll. Yeah, go check him out. That's Matt Pratt, Hustleworks. He's the one I've been telling you about. Alright, inside is the wheels. Got them satin black. Go ahead and let that set up a while. Mask it off, flip them over. We'll start prepping the front. I think I know what I'm going to do with these wheels, kind of set them off a little bit. I don't want to make them look like car wheels, but at the same time, I don't want a carbon copy of the Bayou wheels in a different color. So, keep watching. We'll have the front side coming up next. Get these things slammed on the bike. Got a few parts still waiting to come in. They should be in by the end of this week, so we can get this thing a little further along this weekend. Alright, so everything's masked, ready to go. Get some color on there. We are going to start out with this really nice blue. This is actually a Honda Civic color. B593M, I think is what it is. But we're going to get that sprayed on there first. Start out with some blue while I figure out what else I'm going to do with them. Don't want a carbon copy, again, like I said, of the Bayou wheels. So we're going to start out with a base of blue and go from there, kind of see where the mind wanders. So it's a humid day. It's going to take forever to dry. Waterborne paint, gotta love it. number one. Let that flash. Throw a second one on there. And wait. Alright, coat number. Can't hear me. Coat number 2. Alright, now since today is about 950% humidity, this is a waterborne paint, not a solvent paint. Gotta wait for that water to evaporate. Honestly, it's probably going to be tomorrow when we clear. I'll let these sit here, set some air up, maybe if they didn't, we'll try and keep dirt out of it. But, get some clear on there, these suckers are going to pop. It's a real nice metallic blue. I might just leave it that way. I really don't know yet. Let's get them on the bike, get them clear, get them on there, see what it looks like. Hopefully my son's happy with it. It's kind of what he was looking for. Well, 12 hours later, we had to wait to clear them, but that is one pretty blue. I think he's going to be pretty happy with that. Let's get these things home, get them on the bike, see how they're going to look. We get this thing wrapped up, get it done. Alright guys, we got the wheels back from paint. Most important thing, son's happy with them. We're going to leave them straight blue, so not going to do anything different to them. I even kicked around putting a silver stripe around the edge, but he likes it straight blue. It's his bike, can't argue with it. He picked the rack, he's picked the style, so we're going to rock the blue for a while, see what happens with them. They're not going to stay blue for long. Mud, dirt, scratches, rocks, who knows. But we're going to enjoy them while they last. Put his blue grenade valve stem caps back on for him. So I'm going to set one on here, kind of get a feel for what it's going to look like. But I'm still waiting on a parts order to come in. Everything's a little slow to ship nowadays. It's not an essential item coming through. So some of the parts we're waiting on have been on order for about a month now. So that'll be coming up in another episode. I was hoping to finalize it in this one, but we're going to have to wait a little bit. So let's get this thrown on, see how it's going to look, and then we'll start moving on to the parts that we do have. Going through it, got the wheels on, saw them painted, turned out pretty good. Started putting them on. Yeah, well, you know, it's obligatory. As soon as you mount it, you give it a spin. Well, gave it a spin, and nothing. Won't move. Found out, either from sitting, riding, corrosion, whatever, rear brakes, they don't want to move. You actually have to manually pull them back to get it to spin. So today, we're going to go ahead and get this cleaned out. I'm sure that it is the pivot in there that pushes the shoes apart that's seizing up. Hopefully we don't find a bigger problem. So, first step, I would recommend throw a little PB on it. These are not going to want to play nice. The adjusters are not going to want to come off. I've had these off before. Never had this apart to service them. But I'm going to go ahead and spray these down. A little bit of everything. And now, we wait. Alright, I think we've waited long enough. Go ahead and see if we can get these adjusters off. Start spinning them. And they should, in theory, come right off. Now if they don't, what you're going to have to do is hold the back here. I believe it is an 8mm wrench, and that'll hold the cable so you can turn these off. You can see right there where it's getting stuck. Moves freely pretty much everywhere else, but right there, stuck. And it's staying there. The rear wheels won't move. So we know the brakes are working, but something inside is not working correctly. Alright, now step one is going to be to pull the skid plate off. You just need a 12mm socket to get that. From there, we'll go ahead and take the lever off. It's a 10mm, it's a pinch bolt right there on the spline that comes out. Just keep an eye out for your orientation of your spring, and that's your return spring to make sure that it's supposed to bounce back just like that. Now if we were completely removing this, take these nuts off, but first you got to take the hub off. So we're just going to slide this out, hopefully do some service work, and then put it back together, get everything greased up nice and good so it doesn't we don't have any more issues with it. But first I'm going to show you how to crack these loose with no brakes. You try to hit that nut, it's just going to want to spin the axle. So first thing to do, reinstall lug nuts on there. That way you can hold it and not have to worry about gawing up or damaging the threads. You can hold it with a pry bar and either a large wrench of some sort. You can use a set of channel locks if you have a nice set. I don't recommend that, but I have a set of clamping pliers that I'm going to use because my adjustable wrench just is not quite big enough. Apparently, my fits-all doesn't fit all. So, I need a bigger fits-all. Well, we're going to use a set of clamping pliers today, get that loose. So, I'll go ahead and show you what I did there. Get this thing apart and see what we're working with. This is what I was referring to. You put one in there, you can position it so you can turn it. You got to make sure you go the right direction. And then that should start to spin loose. So we'll go ahead and get this nut spun off, and we can get the inner nut. Alright, after you got everything apart from here, got all the bolts out, cables are loose. I've left them where they are for now just so I remember the orientation. But in here, if you look, there are small pry points. Now this is a drum, so you got to try to pop that out. But I don't just rely on that because you could mar the surface. There's the tab right here. Take a non-marring plastic mallet. This one happens to be a dead blow. Tap on it a little bit, that'll help break it loose. And then from there, you can use your pry points to get underneath of it and work it out. Now you don't want to go full tilt boogie on this. You want to work it out slowly. So, patience is key for this part. It will come out. You can see it's starting to move. And that is your brake assembly right there. These are your shoes that are inside the drum here, and that is the surface. We do have some buildup inside there, but I don't see a lot of corrosion or rust, which means that the seal is still pretty good, still intact. It's got a rubber O-ring that goes around it right there. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pry apart the shoes and get the adjuster out. Right there, that is your pivot. And what happens is that pivot pushes out on these pads. So, or shoes, my apologies. I know better than that. So let's get this apart and see if we can get this pushed out right there. Get that cleaned up. It sits inside a barrel and spins. If that gets too much gunk built up from this side, could have a seal going bad, that's where you'll get your stickage. Alright, we got this cleaned out real good. Used a cylindrical wire brush followed by a stone hone. Real small, went around in there, deburred, get all the junk out of there. Also took our pivot, wire brushed it real good. And some people will stick it back in dry. I don't do that. Could use a regular automotive brake lubricant, say for disc brakes. I like to use a wheel bearing grease. It holds up longer. It actually will keep some water out for a while. It's a little bit thicker. And it's worked so far on just about everything. So, but I almost forgot. Before we do that, we've got to drive our seal in. Now our seal, pop that out. That keeps water, elements, dirt out. So put a little bit of grease on that, and that'll help it fall back into place. Now sometimes you can press these in, but if you take a socket, similar size, you can get them to go right back in. That down in there. We'll take our felt. That just keeps debris out. And we'll put that in backwards apparently. And from the inside, we'll go ahead and slide our pivot through. And now that should pivot very well. No tight spots at all. Alright. Start putting this thing back together. Get her adjusted, get a good test on it, but throw it back together. You can eyeball and spitball where the brake cables were, but not until you get it out. Start using the brake. You'll have to come back, both the hand brake and the foot brake, to actually get the proper adjustment. But right now, we just want to make sure that it's not getting stuck. So let's get this thing slapped back together. Throw these wheels back on, leave them on there permanently without these. You'll see what I mean by that. Alright, we got everything back together. Seems to be working pretty good. If you give her a spin, brake stop, and it comes back. So, gonna have to adjust these, so I'm not gonna worry about the placement just yet, but at least off the ground, they seem to be pretty good. Once we get it out, get the inertia of the bike, you'll be able to adjust these accordingly as to where everything wants to stop. I'll pull the brake lever, nothing will happen. Here, there's no friction, no weight, no inertia, so it stops it. But once we get it down, you pull the lever, and I guarantee you, not much is going to happen. So let's get this thing slapped together, get these wheels bolted on for the last time, and we can get this thing done, wrapped up, and revealed. So. Alright guys, I know it wasn't a modification or a installation video today. It was more of a repair. But with every project, if you don't tear it down completely, you're going to run into little snags as you're putting it back together. This is just a little snag, not a big deal. But we've got some parts coming in for it. Hopefully get this thing done soon, get it wrapped up, get a reveal video. Again, trouble talking on camera. Video out to you guys soon. Make sure you ring the bell, hit subscribe. It's right there, and you'll get notified of new videos coming out. We got some other things in the works. We're going to keep working all summer. Hopefully, we'll keep projects rolling. We got plenty to do. Keep ourselves busy. So, stay safe, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.